is that we have
world where are Donald Tusk, the President of the European Council, and Jean-Claude Juncker, the President of the European Commission, are just holding a news conference. Let's listen in.
From the European Union. No negotiation without notification. And in writing, I've asked the different commissioners and the directors general in the Commission, I've asked them not to discuss things with individual representatives of the UK. No negotiation without notification.
Is that the 27 plus Donald and myself, we were expressing the view, as Donald was saying, that there would be no internal market à la carte. So those who want to have free access to our internal market, they have to implement the 4 freedoms without exception, and I have to add, without nuances. We are expressing the view that, of course, the European Union needs further reforms, but these are not reforms being a complement or the contrary of what we are doing now. We are referring in our conclusions to the strategic agenda of the European Council. This has been adopted on the 27th of June, and the Commission's priority were entailed by these strategic indications of the Council. It's about speeding up the reform. It's not about adding reforms to already existing reforms. The general view was that there would be no treaty change, no convent, no unreflected deepening of the European Union. We are in a process we have to conclude as soon as possible. It's about implementation. It's not about innovation.
Thank you. Now time for your questions. And we start with a question from the gentleman up there. Yes, please, Marco.
Good afternoon, it's Marco Zatterin, La Stampa. I'm here.
Yeah, hi. Buongiorno.
Buongiorno a lei, President. I have 2 questions, if I may. You talk about the unhappy citizens. There will be no reforms outside the treaties, but can you tell more about what you intend to do right now for tackling terrorism, migration and economic crisis? And very quickly, if we lose the UK, can we save Scotland? Thank you.
It's a really short question, but I can't even imagine. We need, I think, maybe 2 days to explain how we want to tackle our crisis. But when it comes to migration, it was we have discussed about migration for many months, and also we discussed this topic yesterday. It's for all of us, it's absolutely crucial to continue our work with our neighbors, not only Turkey, but especially with Turkey, because this, I know, controversial for many observers, but this deal works, and this is for us the most important information, that when it comes to the Western Balkan route, the situation when it comes to irregular migration is under control. And we have no doubts. It was also a clear message from David Cameron's side, but also today, during our discussion among 27 leaders, it was absolutely clear that irregular migration was and is one of the most important reasons of this crisis of self-confidence in Europe, and for sure the whole problems with irregular migration, but also internal immigration in Europe. It was the main topic also during the Brexit campaign time. And
that is President of the European Council, Donald Tusk, speaking in Brussels at a EU Leaders Summit taking place with 27 of the 28 members. UK Prime Minister David Cameron not present. Well, in Brussels as well is our correspondent Jon Brain, who's been listening in to that news conference and joins us now. John, before we heard from Donald Tusk, we heard Jean-Claude Juncker, the President of the European Commission. Very briefly we heard from him, and I think the main point was no negotiation without notification. He said it 2 times in 30 seconds when talking about Britain. It seems as if the EU is holding firm on that point of view.
Yes, Paul, the EU certainly playing hardball with the United Kingdom following this momentous decision to leave the EU, and Jean-Claude Juncker and Donald Tusk making it clear that there will be no negotiations until Britain formally leaves the EU, so there won't be any pre-negotiations to decide what sort of deal can be established after the UK actually leaves. They'll wait till that Article 50 of the Lisbon Treaty has been triggered so that proper negotiations can start, no backdoor deals, we're told. So basically they want to deter any other member states from holding their own referendum. That's what's behind this, and it's clear that Britain is not going to receive any special deals.
And John, what's the feeling like there in Brussels? Are they still trying to turn the screw and force the British government to invoke Article 50 as soon as possible, or are they budging on that slightly, admitting that it might not happen very, very soon, sooner rather than later?
Well, attitudes do seem to have hardened. There has been an acceptance here the past 24 hours or so that Britain will need time. They're obviously aware that there's going to be a leadership election in the Conservative Party and a new Prime Minister who will actually be at the centre of the negotiations. But they are saying again today that they want the UK to trigger Article 50 as soon as possible. They say the decision's been made, so effectively we want you to get on with it, is what they're saying, because the uncertainty about what is happening with the UK is of course affecting the entire European Union, and they do feel here that they're being held hostage by internal party politics in Britain, and so they want this matter resolved as soon as possible. OK, John, let's get more on that internal party politics in Britain. Thank you very much, Jon Brain there in Brussels.